Good day and hello, besties. My name is Shelby Ashley, and welcome back to another recap from Big Brother 28. This was episode 9 of Big Brother 28. This was the second week of BB Unlocked. We got to know what punishments and powers are available for the BB time capsule. We got some cameos from some BB alum from all various assets. We had fans trying slop. We had Rome back again, but you know, it's all okay because I think Big Brother Unlocked is good. Question mark. I actually really enjoyed watching it. Full disclosure, I have had 3 alcoholic beverages and I missed the first 6 minutes of this episode. But we have coffee, we have notes that we have, and so we are going to talk about everything that happened on this episode of BB Unlocked. As usual, please subscribe for more Big Brother 28 coverage. Comment below as you watch this this video, and like this video and all that stuff because I love talking about Big Brother and this is where I talk about it. So in this episode of BB Unlocked, of course, we have Taylor, Derek, and Jerry O'Connell, who are our hosts, and Ross Matthews has joined the gang this week, and it's just really funny. The lore between Ross Matthews and Selena as titties is pretty funny for Jason to be in the house. I'm just giggling so much about Ross Matthews being on here, but he does have a reason to be on there because he is from Celebrity Big Brother, the first one. So, which, shout out to Celebrity Big Brother. I actually loved Celebrity Big Brother. Even if I hardly knew the celebrities, it was still Big Brother in the winter, first of all, and then I don't know, I just really like the sped up Big Brother as well. The slow burn of Big Brother, I mean, I eat it up. But a 3-week season of Big Brother is also a lot of fun. So that's why I really liked Celebrity Big Brother. In this, we see how the Handyman Alliance came to be, and that is with Drew and Kamu, and, they have the whole Tool Shed Alliance. We see Drew saying that he's been wanting to make this Tool Shed Alliance since he was a kid, so it has come into fruition. We also see the beginnings of the Honor Society Alliance. This is with Lala, Taylor, Angela, and Dee, which is super good for everybody involved, honestly, because they are on different sides of the house and they really could help each other out, especially someone like Taylor. I think someone like Taylor could really fly under the radar, especially if she has this kind of protection. Then we get the BB Badass and the BB Dumbass of the week. The BB Badass is Angela, of course. How could you not give it to her? She has delivered for us this week. And then the BB Dumbass is Jason. But with that, Ross mentions that he knows Jason from Drag Race. He knows him as Selena as titties. And Ross says that he loves Jason and that Jason leaves by emotion. He's very passionate. But then we get a nice cut to some of Jason's loved ones back at home. We see Manila Luzon, what's up, baby girl? And Manila's saying, you feel like a superhero in drag and you're kind of vulnerable when you're out of drag. So this has just been a really good opportunity for Jason to, express himself, out of drag. We learned that Jason's mom passed away while he was doing Drag Race press and while it was airing. So he really wasn't able to grieve her. That's a very busy time. So it must be really hard to just keep up the persona, the front face of that all when you're going through so much on the back end. But his friends also understand how he's able to use his life to, be used in the game. So they don't really seem to feel any type of way about how Jason is trying to use his, past life happenings to his advantage in the game. We get a reaction of them, seeing some of Jason's greatest hits so far, if you will, the big fight with Angela, and then we cut to Ross also defending Jason again. So very interesting to have Ross defending Jason publicly. I don't really know what their current status of Ross versus Selena's titties is really, but if you know that video. And so I just wonder what obviously they probably talked about it. Like, I just wonder how it is now, Then they bring out Rome, and I thought the 10-minute interview in the eviction episode wasn't enough, but we had to take up like 20 minutes of talking to Rome in this episode. But I get it. I do kind of want to see more of what the evicted house guests have to say. Although I don't really think you get all of the tea on Unlocked. I think the tea is actually in like the exit interviews with like Dalton Ross and Sharon Tharp and all of that. But anyway, we get Rome coming out. Jerry O'Connell says he has a skullet, and Jerry just loves his hair. He runs his hands through his hair. And I was also thinking, though, when Rome came out, I was like, what if Jason was evicted and then had to go sit next to Ross Matthews after he was just evicted? That would hurt my ego if I was Jason. They ask Rome how he feels about having your love just a few feet away, and he says, like, it's surreal. He talks about how in the house you just, everything's just really intense, and you even love the people you despise. We get Rome's reaction to Angela gunning for Rome, but, Rome says if he won HOH, he would have put up Angela D and Devin. So really, Devin's made the right choice, not trusting Rome like that. Which, honestly, anybody in that house that wouldn't put up D, Devins, and Angela is actually like crazy, or they're in the tool shed. So it's actually just nuts how these vets are really just getting all of the luck. I'm not super mad at it because I'm fans of these people, but also like I would really love to see some opposition as well. So seeing the three of them on the block together would just be a nice little change of pace. They ask Rome who's playing the best game, and he says Haley. He says that she is playing the best game. She's super good at it, super low key. They ask him how he thinks Lyric will do, and he says he hopes that Lyric goes really far. And then Taylor asks him if he would rather Lyric go far deep in the game or just have Lyric out basically in the next eviction. And he said he'd rather her be out in the next eviction, which is actually crazy to say. Like, it's her dream to play this game. Like, whatever. But I fully expect a proposal on finale night if Lyric does stay past jury. I think that will happen. Rome says that the game wasn't what he expected. There was a beta and submissive mention on BB Unlocked. This is crazy. This episode of BB Unlocked really felt like BB Twitter has infiltrated the ecosystem of the actual main stage of Big Brother. He also said, he had a mission, he had a way he wanted to play, but as soon as Lyric batted her eyes, then he was done for. Then they move on to mention Lyric's one-hit wonder dad, and I was like, we're mentioning him again, and then they have a whole montage of Lyric and Rome with like the dad's song as the music bed, and they're also cutting in and out of like clips from the music video. I'm assuming it's actually like a little cringy because we just see like Rome and her just fucking staring at each other, and then Rome is like whispering sweet nothings to her about how he collects Pokemon cards and watches anime, and it's just okay. Like there again, I'm just gonna let them milk this showmance for all it's worth, because after Big Brother Unlocked, besides the little things, we have to see, we don't really have to hear about it much anymore. But then we see Rome address Lyric's dad on camera, and he says that you have a beautiful daughter inside and out, and I'm sorry. And if Rome knows how beautiful her inside is, sorry, Dad. Then we get the classic rant room segment. It's just a compilation of people ranting about how gross the house is, how much nobody cleans up after themselves or refills stuff or whatever. But then we really dive into some new territory. They have a segment called Content Corner. It's called Creator Corner. And I didn't really know what we were in for. I thought we might just see like tweets or something, but then we full on see a video of a guy rapping about watching Survivor players on Big Brother, and then he mentions the Velociraptor killing Rachel, and then he starts saying, like, what even is this show, which is actually pretty valid, because if you didn't know what you were in for and you see that in the first episode, I'm sorry, man. Big Brother's just cheesy as hell. And then Jerry O'Connell says, Lyric's dad, sign him. Then we get Kelly Whitworth on our screen. We see her doing like a reenactment of the cameramen trying to lure people to where their little key is in the early when you get the intro package. There you go, that's the word I was looking for, the intro packages and stuff. And that was really cool to see, because Kelly Wentworth goes crazy with her reenactments, and she kind of does them all herself. Actually, not kind of, she does do them all herself. She mentioned that, and I just have a lot of respect for her content creation. It's very niche, but it's very my niche, so that was really cool to see her on it. But if she wasn't enough, then we get a freaking Rob Cesternino. But if that was enough, then we get a freaking Rob Cesternino shout out and a Taryn shout out, which is crazy. RHAP, what? And then because Rob's freaking TikTok or reel, whatever you want to call it. I'm honestly not really on TikTok much, so I call it a reel because I'm in my 30s. But we get Rob's side-by-side comparison of him reenacting one of Yash's TikToks, and it's just, I just did not know that I literally screamed out loud. I did not know that I was going to be seeing this on Big Brother Unlocked. Like, it was crazy. And then we get a Taryn live feed update shout out. Super cool. Super cool for them to be shouted out, like, on there. Then we get a cool little segment of intern Andy. He has like a line of fans, and he's having everybody try the slop. I've been curious myself of what slop is, but I imagine it's just oatmeal. People are reacting. They say it's gross, it's bad, it's thick. One lady says, though, she's had worse things in her mouth. Okay. And then they like start putting slop in different forms, like a slop cone, a slop cootery board, slop corn. But the most interesting one, sloptinis, which apparently the way to eat slop. They said it was pretty good. Well, it wasn't that bad. Maybe it's more so. Then we get another Rob Cesternino mention, because they were talking about when Devins came into the house, and they were asking Devins, like, is Rob coming in right after you? And Devins like, Rob who? And they were talking about Boston Rob, of course, but Devins being who he is, he's like, oh, I thought you meant Rob Cesternino. Like, that's just really cool. Again, like, the crossover event's really fun. I liked the Big Brother has spoken. And we learned that Jeff Probst is Angela's hall pass. And her husband, Chuck, does not know that. But she wants to jump Jeff Probst's bones, which... respect, honestly. He is a nice looking man, I will say. Not the hottest man I've ever seen in my life, but he's not bad on the eyes at all. Then we get a segment of Devins narrating over a montage of everybody shaking their booty, announcing that Twerk Fever has been released in the house. And then we cut to Jerry O'Connell and Taylor shaking their booties, but Derek is immune. So Derek and Ross Matthews both did not shake their booties. At least I did not see Ross Matthews shake his booty. So what a sourpuss. And then we get Jerry O'Connell running off stage, because Jerry O'Connell's going to figure out what the hell are these powers and what are these punishments. So these are all of the powers and punishments that are up for grabs whenever somebody enters the BB time capsule. So the powers remaining, we have the replay power, which is when you can redo, someone can be HOH again. Then we get the mystery competitor, which is kind of like last season when Casey played for Keanu. We get the never not pass, which you never have to be a have not, which I think is probably a little underrated, but what a lame power to win, honestly. Like, then we get the BB bribe, which I guess you get about $5,000 to try to bribe somebody to do something for you. you get the Diamond Power of Veto, which is where you, at the nomination ceremony, you can veto a nomination, and then you get to decide who goes up in that nomination spot that was just taken from the veto. But it has to be somebody that is like eligible. Then we have the Coin of Destiny, which I didn't catch what that was. So I don't really know what that means, but I'm sure we'll find out. The punishments, we have Lord of the Latrine, where you have to announce, like, Sir Devins is doing a number 2 poo-poo whenever he enters the bathroom. Then we get the Hamazon, where you have to, like, eat a bunch of ham. The Camp Guide, you have to build your campsite and tear it down whenever you're prompted. Adam and Eve, 2 people are tethered to each other in a costume. And then we get the classic red unitard. Then we cut to the HOH competition beginning. They go to 1985 to WrestleGasm. Who the fuck thought of that? Big Brother just doesn't care. Between Big Brother's social media and this BB. Well, my camera was dead, so I recorded with my phone. Then my phone died. So we're back. So we are in 1985 at WrestleGasm. Not sure which BB intern thought of that, but shame on you. So we get Mr. Spectacular, aka Jesse from BB10 and BB11, coming in some killer wrestler get up, and then that's it. That's all we get with the HOH competition. If you don't want to get spoiled on who the HOH is, who maybe got a power or a punishment or anything like that, please subscribe, like this video, and comment down below your predictions on who you think the HOH is. Be sure to go follow me everywhere. That's at Shelby Ashley, where that first E is a 3. And I will be here Sunday to bring you all of the information on what happens on Sunday night's episode. But if you want to know what all of the tea is, the new HOH is Kamu. Pretty boring outcome, pretty lackluster. Again, I was really hoping for a power shift. I would have loved to see a lyric, a Mallory, a melody type HOH. Just because I want to see these vets shaking their boots a little bit. But alas, we get Kamu HOH. Now, the feeds came back from the nomination ceremony pretty much right before I started recording, so I'm not quite 100% on who is nominated, but I do anticipate it to be Lyric, Mallory, and Lala on the block, with Jason being the backdoor target. I really hope Jason doesn't leave this week. I love that. I would love to see like Lala accidentally go home or something kind of like that. I really don't see that happening though, but just something. I just really want a power shift. But we're getting the opposite pretty much, because we do know who America voted for the BB time capsule. And it was none other than Rick Devins. No surprise to anybody, really. So Rick Devins went in and he won a power. Rick Devins has won the Diamond Power of Veto. Now, this means that he can take someone off nomination block at the veto ceremony, and he can also make the renom himself. Now, I think I speak for a lot of us when I say, now Devin said this lasted 6 weeks. That's a long time. That's a really long time for someone to have that kind of power. So my best case scenario is Devins is in trouble next week and has to use it on himself or something like that. So that would be pretty cool. And hopefully, with the renom, it's still somebody who, still has a chance in the blockbuster competition and all of that. So otherwise, look, I like Dee, I like Devins, I like Angela. I'm not really that mad at it, but it is blatantly overpowered. So I'm really hoping that there's some balance to counteract that. But yeah, I feel like the production is really wanting to make sure these vets stay for a while to keep these viewers, but alas, we can only wait until Stebbins has to use it. So, and I really hope we get some confirmation of how long it does last on Asir. That would be in Sunday's episode. I will be back Sunday night to bring you all the information that happened on Sunday night's episode and to fill in some gaps along the way for you if need be. Again, yes, please subscribe, like this video, all of that stuff, and thank you so much for watching.